crazy exes of Reddit. What is your side of the story? He told all of his family and friends that I asked for a divorce because he was deploying to Afghanistan and that I was a crazy controlling bitch. The real reason we were divorcing was because he was texting girls he met online and telling them he loved them and wanted to be with them. I also found his online dating site on my laptop, and when I confronted him about it he said his friends made the profile as a joke. The profile used the same username and password that he used for everything. The final straw was when I came home from a trip back home to see my family and walked into our bedroom to find another girl's clothes. I asked whose they were and why they were there, and he said he had gone to the bar with some people from his troop and she was too drunk and had to spend the night. He apparently slept on the couch. I asked what she left the apartment wearing and he gave her my favorite pair of sweatpants to wear home. I never got those back either. My roommate had a crazy ex who would call him 20 times and leave 5 voicemails a day. This had been going on for about a week or so, and I asked him if he had ever listened to the voicemails or called her back, and he said FCK no, she is just being crazy-ish T. The following week I talked to her roommate and asked why she was calling him so much. It was because he had taken her virginity and she wanted it back. Asterisk. Well, besides that, the actual reason was that the night they broke up he apparently went to her house, took a bat, and smashed all her windows and slashed all her tires. I read a post on another forum by a woman who had been in an abusive relationship. Typically, the abuser was charming and plausible to other people and soon had their circle of friends and family believing that she was some sort of nutcase and that he was the strong, tolerant, capable man who had to cope with her. She once overheard one of their friends say patience of a saint. That man. Ouch. For some reason that little detail really made me wince. I don't know if this qualifies as crazy, but I reported my ex's video to YouTube from like 40 different accounts to get it taken down. Why, you ask? Because I was like 16. And he had been videotaping our foreplay, and who knows what else, on his MacBook without my knowledge. And then compiled it into a 5-minute long softcore PRN video where he asked me to prom at the end. He then posted it on Facebook and his ShTTY YouTube account for everyone to see. All clothes were on during it, but it was still pretty raunchy. And I got ripped on pretty hard for it that summer at my job. I pretended to laugh it off, but every night I was going home and making a new YouTube account to report the video on until it got taken down. Because he refused to delete it. He had been videotaping our foreplay, and who knows what else, on his MacBook without my knowledge. Okay. That's bad. Then posted it on Facebook and his ShTTY YouTube account for everyone to see. That's absolutely mortifying. I am so sorry this happened to you. We're definitely each other's crazy exes. We just were very passionate people who fell for each other hard. And everything we did was intense. The sex, the arguments, the cold shouldering, etc. Bet I sounded like a crazy ex when I warned his next girlfriend what an abusive asshole he was. But it sure as hell felt good when I found out she dumped him a year or so later for just that reason. I wasn't cool with moving from being her boyfriend to being her side piece while she tried to get back with her ex. I was a drunk. Most of my exes broke up with me when they realized any relationship was a three-way between me, them and alcohol. I used to do some crazy shit after the breakup too. Get blackout drunk and call them blubbering, making no sense. Yeah. I got addicted to heroin. It ruined my life and I'm glad you left me when you did. I've since recovered and I hope you're well too. Pissed in her mailbox. Not proud of that. But definitely not ashamed of it either. I was madly in love with my girlfriend. And she was with me. But sometimes love isn't enough and we drove each other completely nuts. Eventually I got severely depressed because I loved her and didn't want to leave her. But our relationship was so toxic I became heavily dependent on drugs and ended up blacking out behind the wheel of her car and crashed into a tree. I broke my leg. Got a DUI. And because of this incident our relationship officially ended. When I look back I think the accident was meant to be. We refused to break up and we needed a little push. The way things were going it could have ended a lot worse. I was 14 and he was 20. He took my virginity. We dated for 2 years. He was super controlling and I just wanted to do kid stuff and date other kids. When I finally dumped him, he threatened to send my nudes to my parents and my boss. But yeah. He told our hometown I was some crazy stalker bitch and they believed him. I was 14. You should have let him send those pics. He cheated on me for the entire 2 years of our relationship. We used his computer for a TV. He left it open after he left for work. And she started sending him nudes while I was having coffee and watching something while eating breakfast. When I confronted him, he blamed me for snooping on his Facebook. And said he'd known her longer. He then lied to all his friends. Said I was crazy, controlling, and never wanted to have sex with him. All of these things were opposite to the truth. Over the course of our relationship, he went on vacation, without me. I was actually uninvited on the first year. After him initially telling me it was our trip to celebrate, on both of our anniversaries. Wanted me to quit my university program despite getting honors level marks. And he had performance issues related to performance anxiety. We had sex as much as he was able. I haven't spoken to him or his friends since the day we broke up. I haven't thought about it in ages. But I'm sure his social circle still believes whatever he told them about me. I couldn't care less. I found the wife of the husband who she was cheating on me with. And I let her know that he was sleeping around on her. I provided explicit details and screenshots. She said I ruined a marriage. I said she did because she was too much of a coward to do what was right. Also she had syphilis. That I was an immature asshole and pretty much everything she says about me is 100% accurate and I regret it every time I think about it. I got angry that he cheated on me with multiple underage girls. Yes. I took the car. It was my name on the title. After all. 1. He really did cheat on me. I wasn't delusional or projecting. No matter how much he claimed that I was. 2. I did not cheat on him. And then rub it in his face. He found out. Somehow. That 4 months after I dumped him I had slept with a mutual friend. This led to a suicide attempt. Complete with letters citing my infidelity as his reason. 3. I never once logged into his bank account. I don't know why anyone believes I stole money from him. Seeing as he never had a job and therefore no money either. 4. Yes. I did threaten to call the cops on him. No. I wasn't planning on faking that he hit me. He was threatening to kill himself. There are a lot of people I don't really speak to anymore. Because I chose to be private and he chose to make a lot of shit up. It's okay though. I didn't suffer any great losses. I keyed the shit out of her car. I only did it because her friend, who turned out not to be her friend after all, told me my ex was planning on doing it to my car but I later found out that was a lie. I felt like shit and told my ex. She then proceeded to burn my car. Sounds like the next country hit song. I only broke in through the window because the door was locked and you stopped answering my calls 2 months ago. Okay, so I may have sent his new girlfriend, the one he cheated on me, and left me for some screenshots of cringy messages where he sent unsolicited dick pics and begged for me back while he was dating her. My friends verified that it was equal parts funny and justified, but pretty sure there's plenty of ways to spin that into unnecessary evil, and Jesus Christ woman, just let it go. He was horrible though, and so was she. She wasn't huge on me being gay. I was the crazy one. I said some regrettable things about how classless it was to come to the place we both worked while I was there. Right after we broke up. My temper was out of control. But it was all my fault anyway. In the 3 years we dated, she was a beautiful flower. And I was an idiot child trampling all over it. I never did anything directly abusive. But I was nuts and just ran in circles around her. She saw a person in me that I couldn't be. Saw the light after this. Got my diagnosis, bipolar, social anxiety, etc., and treatment. And I'm a wholly different person. We've made peace. Life goes on. A guy I was dating just stopped texting me or calling me back out of nowhere. He lived in another state, so we hadn't seen each other in a while. He finally sent me one sentence that it was over and he was seeing someone else. I went a little nuts every time I drank and would text him. I know he was telling all our friends I was crazy, but looking back I think I was justified in wanting more information or some closure. I was admittedly a bit crazy and not always a great boyfriend. I was jealous and insecure due to not properly dealing with some personal issues that arose during our relationship. I proposed to her and she said yes. But we were both young, stupid, and I didn't have my shit together as well as she did. It eventually fell apart in spectacular fashion and I fell apart personally too for a while. After the breakup I got some help with my issues. Got healthy and confident. Dropped the whole jealous all the time thing. And had some very successful and fulfilling relationships after that. I've been with someone for 4 years now. We just got married last year. As far as I know. My ex got married to someone else. Has some kids. And is doing well herself. So it's all good. I'm crazy because I didn't appreciate his negative comments about me. Especially when he made them to a number of other women that he was interested in. I'm crazy because I stuck up for myself as he repeatedly told me I was worthless and no one would ever want me. I'm crazy because I wanted to get a restraining order against him after 7 months of him stalking and harassing myself and my family. Fast forward to 2 years later. And he is arrested for domestic abuse against his new girl while I'm engaged and pregnant with the love of my life's baby. Bitches be crazy. Oh, she thinks I'm crazy because I won't talk to her at mutuals friends parties. Basically I ghost her. Pretend she's not even there. Then she comes to me with that fake high-pitched Nope. I'm not going in that fake place with you so we can pretend you never did me wrong. Even 5 years later I just won't. I just don't associate with that kind of person. I feed off the awkwardness. He sexually assaulted me after dumping me via text, lured me to his place to talk about things, while his new GF, who I had no idea about, was driving from another state to be with him. I was crazy because I tried to warn her about him. I'm crazy because I got jealous when she told me that she was going to go over to her ex-FCK buddy's house to drink and watch Game of Thrones. So basically, softcore PRN. Yeah. Nothing questionable about that. I must be a paranoid schizophrenic. I don't understand how people think it's okay to go chill with an ex when they are in another relationship. FCK that. You were in the right. Game of Thrones is tight though. Till relationships equals pain. JK, I've known that for a long time. I'll die a virgin, thanks. Edit. Ignore romantic interests. Acquire hats. They had it coming. They had it coming. They only had themselves to blame. I'm sure my ex calls me crazy, but I have personally reasonable explanations for everything. I wouldn't let him wear his socks in bed. You see. He would wear his socks all over the house. In the bathroom. And even out on the dirty back porch, and as a mild germaphobe I couldn't handle them being in my clean bed. I nailed his pubs, causing him second-degree burns down there. This was an honest mistake. I kept getting rug burn from his pubes and was tired of it. And I use Nia down there all the time without issue, so thought it would be fine. After an argument about finances, I cussed him out and threw him and all of his stuff out of my home in the middle of the night when he had no car. No regrets. He thought I was Boo Boo the Fool and tried to live with me for free. I don't have time for that. Edited to add. This man had 2 jobs. We discussed what he would pay before he moved in, only half the rent and I would pay everything else. But after 4 months he had not paid a dime.